Welcome back, everybody, to the Meet the Bus podcast. I am your host, Jeffrey Reckes, and this week we are back for episode 25. And as you can tell behind me, I'm not in my room anymore. I am not in my room anymore. Today, I told you guys last week, I don't even know if I mentioned this to anybody, but I have moved. I've made a little move, so for right now, I'm not currently moved all the way into my new spot, and also apologies for my little squeaky chair here. Sorry for all the listeners at home, but that just might be a reality today. But anyway, let me get my guest introduced back on the podcast. So, ladies and gentlemen, he's my first C partner. You've seen him. We just did the math. He's been on 12% of the episodes now. This is episode 25. He's been on 2 episodes before. Please go check those out. He was my first C partner in drum corps. He was on episode 3 and episode 7 with Josh Sanchez. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back Riley Fitzpatrick.
The roaring applause is deafening.
Today,
we're not
originally,
booing,
guys,
they're booing. What's up, guys?
Oh my God. What is going on, everybody?
I'm back.
So today we are doing something a little different. Wanted to do something a little different today to at least give you guys a 25th episode, because that is something I wanted to do to give myself a little break from May, but there was something I still wanted to cover. So today we're kind of pulling an improv move. So, I wanted to, get the last member on for the summer series to kind of introduce them to you guys. Plans didn't work out, schedules and everything and time zones and whatnot. Things just didn't end up shaking out, and that's cool. We'll still get to that during the summer and get to introduce everybody, so that's sick. But I thought today, since we didn't get that to work out, that we could still make something out of the podcast, and we could still put out an episode and still talk about some things that are happening in the community. So I texted Riley yesterday, because Riley...
Oh, that's me.
I know
Shit.
That's you, bud. So I know you've been more, since your time in drum corps, you've been more versed into more of like business world things, just kind of, learning about all that stuff. As you can tell me talking about it, I'm not the smartest guy to talk about it, but I know that,
but, hey, my business.
We both did drum corps.
Otherwise, we'll see how that works out.
That's why I had him on. But I mean, also, I think it's really cool, and I want to, when we marched, not to sound like some old fucks out here, but when we marched back in 2016 and 2018, there wasn't a lot of the things that are happening today. And those are some of the things I want to talk about. Some of the things that, when we had on the CEO of drum corps now, Nathan Boudreau, he talked a lot about, the things that we're going to have to do to, the biggest complaint in the community is that the fees are crazy. And what do we need to do to get those fees down? We need to get sponsorships so that they can give us some money, so that we can have more money, so that, we can spread the horizons. We can grow our audience. More people can know what drum corps is. We get sponsors outside of our backyard to give us some money, and we need all of these, outside sources of revenue to basically grow this activity again and kind of get back to a place of stability. So that's kind of some of the things I wanted to talk about today.
That's a lot of buzzwords, Jeff.
It's a lot of buzz keywords.
There.
As you can tell, I've listened to a lot of podcasts. Okay, I know how to say the things.
Podcaster listens to a lot of podcasts. That is so on brand.
And the thing is too.
Hold on, we need to introduce Monica Jenkins. Monica Jenkins.
You got to introduce Monica. What's up, Monica? What's
up? We've been together almost 5 years. I love her to death. She's got to skate off to work, but
we love Monica.
Quick little
fun fact: me, Monica, and Riley, we all went to a Oh, she's out of there. Okay, so. Yep. Back 2 years ago, actually, this is the first time me and Riley had seen each other again. But me, Riley, and Monica all went to the Call Me If You Get Lost tour, and we went to a show for Tyler the Creator, and we were just talking about that before we started, but it was, dude, that shit was fucking phenomenal.
Shit, the stories of like that weekend. That could take up an entire episode. That would almost be worth like bringing like Josh on for again too, and just us three just talk about not even anything related to drum corps. How about this one time that we just went and got like?
This is the 25th, so honestly, it's kind of nice to just change up the format a little bit. I hope this is refreshing for you guys, because for me, it's like I'm doing this all off cuff. Normally, I like to have my Google Docs kind of set up today and ask some questions or whatnot. I have some information ready, but I kind of just want to be able to talk about, you know, well, first, I just thought about talking about that story, but then also the main point. Michael, clean me up. Michael, clean me up. You're gonna have to clean us up a lot in this podcast.
I'd be
Shout
all
out
right.
Michael Brunk, everybody. By the way, he is going to be on media staff for Troopers this summer. He is our new editor of the podcast. He has been since episode 20 with Julia Robles, and dude's phenomenal. He's a great dude. Everyone go check him out. His portfolio and his page will be in the description of every video from here on out. So go check out his work. And if you ever need any services, go check out the dude because he's incredible. With that said,
I say we
shit, what do
just
we
kind
want
of
to
get
talk about
rolling right
today?
into. I mean, you texted me a couple things. We're
Some
going
things I wanted to
straight
talk
from
about.
the DCI.org news page source.
We're doing React content
We're doing
for
reaction content today.
news. For news, not
Yeah.
just the shows. We're doing reaction content for the news. So today, I want to talk about a couple things because there's been, like I talked about before, we didn't have a lot of these like sponsorships or outside sources when we marched, but I know in the early 2000s, I think we talked about this before, and I think this is kind of where we're getting back to. Riley, do you want to talk about anything that you were kind of leading to before? I think you had a really good point on like, I don't know, just like kind of where it seems like drum corps is trying to get back to it all.
Yeah. We were talking a little bit before the podcast about this, and I think that a really kind of like big thing, right, that I did mention
Mm-hmm.
towards the end of episode 3 there was like these member fees got to come down. And then you did talk to Nate Boudreau about it, about member fees. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that he has that really sound idea of bringing in the sponsors. And I know that that's had a lot of like mixed bag reviews on the internet and probably throughout the community as well. Just not everybody uses Reddit like basement dwellers like me.
What's up, man?
What's up, man?
From the basement, we are
From
live.
But yeah, no, I think that it really is. It's what I was kind of talking about is the stark contrast, right? Is like because 1930s, like post World War I era into
Ooh.
World War II era, Depression era kind of times. A lot of this, like a lot of drum corps was like very locally based. Like, how many people can you get to support you from your town, from the city, the neighboring city, how your local community, how many people can you get there? And I think that DCI kind of hit like a stride in the early 2000s that with Dan Atchison at the head and doing all this stuff with like, I think they were on like an ESPN alternate channel for a while, like just streaming either random
I
shows.
forgot what they got on, if it was like
What,
ESPN News, because ESPN has like 3 different departments, but like at one point for multiple years in a row, and they were able to hold down like, I don't know if they did it all at IU, but I know the ones I remember I saw on TV were all at Indiana University. And like
yeah.
I remember like, but yeah, at one point, like you said, they did have it on ESPN. Sorry, I definitely cut you off there. Keep
No,
going.
you're good. You're fine. No, so I'm just kind of talking out my ass. Anyway, we're off the cuff today.
Same. We're off the cuff. Listen,
Especially
if you
from a
don't,
guy that doesn't follow drum corps as closely as some of the guests you've had on. This is like so hilarious that you've asked me to talk about the state of drum corps. I'm like, sure, I
yes,
can just do like a quick 10-minute analysis here. That's pretty fun.
right, yeah,
No, but it's I think it's because it is growing. I think what something that kind of was stifled, especially into COVID and heading into that first couple of years leading up, is that nobody really knew what it was. Like nobody really knew what the activity was. Like I've ran into. I'm a bartender for a living. Okay, I talk to everybody under the sun that you can imagine, and I've maybe ran into 2 people. Well, so out of 2 people in the past like 6 months, one knows what drum corps is, and they're like,
yeah.
"Cool, I did DCI back when back
They're like, I've
1996
seen
or
it.
something." It's like they're like, "I've seen it, I've done it, I've done all the shit." I'm like, "Wow, it's so rare to see somebody out there in the wild, especially in Idaho." Second thing is that I tell them about drum corps, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I know what it is." And then they're like, "Which did you play tenors or snare?" And I'm like, "Oh my fucking god!" Okay.
Yeah,
I'm like, so you did marching band. And I'm so glad we can relate on that. But anyway,
oh man,
what I was talking about there though was just like because the activity has grown so much, I think that it's basically trying to get the community as it stands and how we can branch out and kind of move forward. And maybe that's Nate's idea. I'm not really too sure what's going on with his ideas. I am not him. I don't speak to him. I have never spoken to him. In fact, there's only one of us here who's ever spoken to Nate Boudreau.
Absolutely. I
But
think honestly, I love. Do you have any more? Do you have anything
I
else you
was
want
just
to say?
going to say, because it's growing, I think it's important that finding those sources of support is going to be key in the development of making it a popular activity again.
Yeah.
Not giving, because for, I want to say, like a solid decade, everybody said this is, anytime you'd ask a vet about anything from like 2010 to about like 2018,
Till
19,
COVID.
till COVID, everybody was like, they have some horror stories about it. And like, that is what they cling on to.
Yeah.
But now we're trying to put it in this light of like, this is not what the activity is anymore. And after watching the podcast for 24 episodes now, I see that in the newer faces of the members, where this isn't that rigorous, kind of like, culture, I could say.
It
I'm not
doesn't
saying,
have to be hard
I'm not
though.
saying
Like
that
it
it's
doesn't have
like,
to be like. I don't know if it has to. No, maybe
you're
hard's
on
not
it.
the right choice
You're
of
right.
words.
You're right where
But
I'm going. So you go. Yeah.
like I believe and you're absolutely right, and it's been cool to see though, because like especially the last couple interviews, it's been really interesting, because I remember like by the time we get to 18, like our means of like humor are talking about like the horror stories from our seasons, and that's what like
Yeah.
we laugh about now, and we're like, oh, remember that crazy shit we did? Like, you remember how crazy that was? Remember we
Remember
got
that
yelled at
crazy
to do
shit
this
where I
stuff?
did breathing block on an anthill? Oh man, I love drum corps. It's like,
Oh man, and
what
it's
the
funny
fuck
to
were
now
we
hear
on at
like
that point? But
there's so much in place now, and
yeah,
then like the thing is, and we're gonna get to a little bit of the. I don't want to talk too much on like every single partnership, because listen, we're not the smartest people in the
no,
world, or we don't know why these moves are happening. It's just I wanted to talk today because lately in the past couple months we talked about in the episode with Nathan Boudreau. He said, right when he gets to work, the things that he's going to try to do, it's not all going to happen in one day, but he's going to he's going to plug away at getting outside sources of revenue to basically help this activity get back on track. And I believe, Riley, you did a little bit of research into his time at USA Water Ski and Wake Sports. I always say that wrong, but
like
I
that
remember,
much. Yeah.
I think the wake and I think I even said it wrong in the interview too. But
No, I'm saying like I did like that much research. Like I know the research based off
yeah,
of
like
what
just
he
enough.
introduced himself as in the episode that he was on. Like, I mean,
It was just
I know
go
that
ahead.
he works with those kind of like lesser known things. Like I think he got that like the water skiing and all that other stuff, from what I remember, just to like a very popular level, to the point where
Yeah,
now it's like a televised event and it has a good
right.
following and it has a steady revenue base from
Hmm.
either selling tickets, selling merch, partnering with people. And I think that strategic moves that he's done with that are going to really be reflected over about the next 5-10 years with DCI. The thing
Yep.
with like, and you were talking about this too just now, like it's
Hmm.
it's not going to happen overnight. Like all of this stuff, it's not, we obviously, want lower core fees. We want them to go
Right.
lower, have it be more
We
accessible.
want it to be accessible to everybody.
Exactly. We want it to be accessible. And Dan brought that up too. It's like, it's like a lot of like rich kids now pretty much in drum corps. That's kind of how it's
Right.
just going. And I think that the more that we can open it up back to what it used to be back in like, in its inception days, where there's just a bunch of Boy Scouts hanging out, marching down the street, playing
You
drums and
you
horns
you come
together.
with me.
They're like, yeah, exactly. It's like the kickball team, kids standing off to the side of this trumpet. You're cut. You go over to I don't know, go make your own class.
I mean, dude, they used to fight back in the day, man. They
Yeah.
used to like the stories of like when I remember like my brother like got contracted to Boston. Like we watched like this documentary on the history of the Corps, and they're like back in the day they used to just fucking fight people in parades, and I was like, yeah, like let's bring that. Honestly, the fucking like inspiration to start this podcast, I was like, man, I want to bring lot fights back. I just want to
Okay,
instigate
okay,
a good
so
lot fight.
imagine what's it called when they're on the field at the end of finals?
Retreat.
Retreat. Imagine
Hmm.
just an all out brawl instead.
Like second
Everybody
place is like
gets a color guard
0.3.
pole. Everybody gets a color guard pole, and they just beat the shit out of each other. And then whoever's left standing is the true winner. So
In
that means
second
you could
place, losing by 0.25. Just I love it.
Never
Like,
mind.
you talk to like the new generation, and it's like we're technically I am still the new generation, whatever the fuck. But you talk to the kids who are in it now, and it's so funny because literally, I just remember when we were on tour in Oregon, and I bet you can attest to this too. But like in Oregon, they used to feed us like the scores, and this has the potential of Saturday night, and you should focus on the groups around you. So that's why like I grew up, and I talk in these interviews, and I'm like, what did you guys think when you placed 12th at San Antonio? Like that's fucking phenomenal for Pacific Crest, because when we marched, Pacific Crest was with us. So like seeing them there at 12th, I was like, what did y'all think of that? Like that's groundbreaking. And they're like, it was a really special night, and we had a lot of fun. I was
like, wow, okay, cool. I'm glad to see that
scores aren't
your
everything.
organization is growing. That's awesome. I love to see it. Thanks. Anyway,
man.
yeah, talking a little bit more. I like just more about the sponsorship stuff. Going back to, it's not going to happen overnight. 5-10 years is probably about the plan on it, but I would expect to see with some of these sponsorships. I mean, let's just kind of dive into specifics here.
But these have been really cool, and it's been so silly to see. Like, I think why I want to talk about this today is because a lot of people in the community that I'm seeing are doubting the moves that are happening right now, and also like downplaying what's actually happening with these moves.
Sure.
Like for example, the first one, I don't know whatever you bring up. But we had, I think one of the first ones they did was the Apollo socks deal. I don't. It's Apollo or Apollo. Like that was Apollo. So that was like one of the first things I remember seeing, and I thought honestly that's like one of the coolest things ever. A lot of people downplayed it because they're like, "What is this going to do for the activity in general?" I think we can get this up here. Let's add this.
Yeah.
Here we
I'll
go.
just jump here. So for those who don't know a ton about Apollo, and Jeff was telling me he doesn't really know a ton about him. So it's okay. You're not a dumbass. It's okay. I just watch a lot of Shark Tank. So Apollo is a Shark Tank company, and it is actually like, it's super cool to. This is not a sponsor, by the way. This is not like a paid ad. This is not anything. This is just a straight
But if
up
you
reaction.
wanted to.
But if you want to, the socks are $34 a pair. I'm not saying
crazy.
they must be good, right? But so Apollo is a Shark Tank company, and they actually where is it? There's something about like
talking about kind of their growth.
Estonia Dance Symphony here. So they are a dance wear and not athletic wear, performance wear company. Yeah. That's what they brand themselves as. And it's really cool that DCI has an official sock now. Like that's sick. I think that with Apollo, kind of being this pretty well-known brand amongst like dancers and things like that, it's super cool. Like look, there's the Shark Tank right there.
There's the Shark Tank.
Yeah. I'm gonna stop sharing now, but
wow. I think that's dope though. That's so sick.
It's sick. Like it's one of the things that like with the partnerships you'd probably be able to get good deals, but according to all reviews, like there was something like they're like a 4.9 star review or something like that across the board. They have like less than 3% returns. Like it's a really good company because they know their target market, and the socks like they claim like it got good arch support. They have a bunch of patents out on like they have a design patent and 2 utility patents. 2 utility patents.
Are you able to bring those up? Are you able to pull those up by chance?
I can't pull up the patents. I don't know. I didn't do that much research. So dude, we were going off the cuff. I just know that off the top. I literally watched a Shark Tank episode before this. But they have a utility patent where it has an open heel kind of thing, and it's just supposed to support your feet better. And I love to see that kind of partnership because that was such an important thing when we were marching, was like have good socks. Like have good socks, have a fuck ton of them, and change them often. Yeah.
Like,
so like
bro, these are just nuts. I kind of want to see the like the sock because you can shop dance, you can shop socks. I kind of want to see like this for us. We're not telling you what like we're not gonna like teach you about it. I kind of just want to see like I want to be able to. I don't think there's a spot of people that are like reacting or just talking about these small moves that seem small, but they're really like it's plugging into spots that are needed within drum corps, and it's only
Yeah,
gonna
because
help
I
us
mean,
grow our audience more.
we like I
Just
would love to get like a med staff member on and just like talk
yeah,
about how many ankle injuries they saw in their entire time, even in just
real.
1 year of drum corps, 1 season of drum corps. How many ankle and foot and toe and knee injuries did you
Yep.
see? And things like this, I think that this really is promoting the member health focus, right? Like you want your members to be, you know, ultimately healthy and able to perform. Yeah, pain, aches, and inflammation, effectively
Mhm.
minimizing that. It's cool
And
stuff.
all
And
these
it
different types of socks too. I mean, they're gonna be able to have options to get like, I mean, you're gonna have like you
Apollo,
can
please
have
sponsor.
you can have like your guard be wearing like barefoot support, no show socks so that it doesn't like, get in the way of the uniform. You have the knee highs for the members, the marching brass members and the percussion members. I mean, there's so many different like this is a really smart like I just think this is an incredible move that I wanted to talk about because I have no idea who this company is. Like
Yeah,
this is
it's I have like a pair that I bought like I was in
let's see.
college still, so probably like 5, 6 years back. I don't know where they are now, so I can't do any product demos for you. Plus, feet pics aren't free. Uh,
Hey. They are
but
not. So you can go pay for his OnlyFans right now. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. It's
disclaimer: I do
not
not have
real.
an OnlyFans.
He
I do
doesn't.
not.
It's not real.
Go look it up. No, but I don't know. It's
Oh,
it's it's like with the Apollo partnership. I think that really demonstrates their like focus towards the member health side now, and I'm really
yeah.
kind of about that. And I think that yeah, you can always argue like oh corporations bad, blah. But you live in America. I mean mostly drum corps is an international circuit, but more than likely if you're watching this, you are probably living somewhere in America, and
Right.
sponsorships make the money. How do you think, you know, all these crazy YouTubers, they got their own podcast now. Like,
Right.
how do you think they're making money? They get sponsors, and that's how you do it. And I think that that is something that DCI needed when well, you and I guess, when you
Yeah.
don't have to just be exclusively me, just me.
Right.
I was the only one who did the event. No, uh, I am the only person.
But around
No,
that time, though, like I mean, having also a company that is outside of the marching band world. When we marched in that era, the only sponsorships we could get are like we could get this, we could
System
get
Blue,
t-shirts from fucking like the instrument companies,
Vic
or we could
Firth,
get
yeah,
Vic
all of the
Firth. You
crazy
could
ones.
get oh my god, I'm forgetting all the names now, but you get it. Jupiter, all those guys, Yamaha, and then you could get merch from like the stick companies. You could get it from the uniform companies, but it was all within this marching arts space world. And I just want like I just think this is the things that we were talking about in Nate Boudreau's episode about we need to look outside of our world and go see who will support us from the outside. And
Absolutely.
something kind of with that we can keep going on with. I actually pulled up one thing, but I think I actually want to go in a different direction here because the latest one that just got announced this past week, that I want to talk about personally, is the new partnership that has just been made. Is the discounted DCI World Championships airfare via
That's sick.
Southwest Airlines. Now, this is one of the coolest things ever because throughout my entire career, I don't know about you, Riley, but I flew Southwest exclusively the whole time I fucking marched. And
Sure.
if this was a thing back when I was like doing the thing and my family had the
You
opportunities, I mean, it's not just for finals either. As you can see here, you get, let's read this. As a benefit of our partnership, travelers will receive 25% more rapid rewards bonus points on all qualifying flights. You can
This is not
fly
a sponsored ad. This is not a sponsored ad.
not a sponsored ad, but you can look at this from what April I think from April to the end of July, you can get 25%. Like what? Like this is just I just this is a very short article here, and a lot of people, it was funny because like when this post got made, I'm seeing people who I marched with like share and be like, what the hell, like this is crazy, like they're partnering with Southwest Airlines. And then like I see people on the main DCI post being like, well, it's only like $3 off your ticket, it's not even that crazy to
Bro,
like go to finals. I'm like,
$3 considering. So for me, and probably for you too, during
yeah,
camp season, I had to fly my ass to Texas like once a month for like
yeah,
4 months. That's
or
just
Oregon.
expensive. Or yeah, I didn't have that
In
problem. I
my
could drive to
case, more
Oregon,
than
but
yours probably, but
yeah,
yeah,
I could just drive. I could be like, Dad, I need to go to Oregon next weekend.
yeah,
But yeah, I don't know. Like I like this one too because it's smart to like minimize travel costs as much as you can. Like $3, whatever. It doesn't matter if it's $3. Would you rather save the $3 towards your tour fees or buy an Apollo socks? Again, Apollo, please sponsor.
yes, bro. Like,
Like I
look
don't
at
know. Like
this. When in a
it's
million years did you think Southwest Airlines would partner with a fucking marching band company?
yeah,
Like,
right.
what?
I love this. It's so cool just to like. I mean, the growth here, right? The
Mhm.
trajectory of growth with just two sponsors outside of the activity.
Yeah.
Everybody in America knows what Southwest Airlines is. Probably a lot of people outside of America do too, and fuck ton of people in the dance community apparently know a ton about Apollo socks. So it's like you
Right.
now are bringing in two target markets, people who travel and people who dance, to come watch
Yes.
this thing that is well within what they like. Like
Mhm.
it's cool. Like it's targeted marketing. It's super smart, and I think that this will help the overall revenue stream of DCI. And I think that that's, before in previous years, it used to just kind of get pinned on the cores, right? It's like I
Yes.
was saying at the beginning is like, you had to rally your community or rally your town or the next city over. Um,
Yeah.
Now we have a big umbrella over us with Nate Boudreau fucking holding it. And he's like, hey,
Yes.
man, like this is the revenue stream. We're going to disperse this. The only thing is now is my concern is who gets what cut of the pie, right? Or is everything going to DCI and everything
Mm.
still falling on the cores to draw their own stuff down? So
I just think
I thought of this.
go ahead.
Raising more money to have as a cushion for DCI helps them charge less for tickets, and that's why
Yes.
it's going to work. So
And that's why I can, yes, 100%. And I think just in general, I think it's one of the coolest things that we can, as an organization, as an activity, we can put Southwest Airlines. We can put our name next to them. We've never in life been able to like put our name next to an organization or a company this big. So I just want to shout out, like, I want to shout out Nate Boudreau. We're going to talk about a couple other things that there's small things within the community, but they're going to be huge for what's going to happen this summer in particular. But I want to talk about these couple things first because these are, like we talked about. Go watch episode 10 to kind of talk. You get to see his thoughts as he took office, basically, of kind of his plan on what he wanted to do. And now to come back at episode 25 and kind of see and look back on and see like what he's done now and how he's been able to actually, like, yes, I'm going to go outside the activity and find people. And it's not like we're just finding people outside the activity like a random like Frito-Lay sponsorship, which would be sick,
that would be
right? But it's just something random like
free
that that doesn't make
Cheetos
any
on
sense.
tour.
I
All the horns are going to be tinted orange by the end of the summer.
with the fucking Cheeto guy like on the bell. Like,
No, so I laughed earlier because I had the vision of like an NBA jersey. Sometimes they'll put like the fucking company logos on NBA jerseys.
yeah,
Do you imagine just
yeah,
like 2016 downside up? They just have in the middle of the loop just a big
big
Southwest
Cheeto,
Airlines logo, just like
just a plane.
on the backs, kind of like a jersey where like your name would be. It just says sponsored by Southwest
Oh my
Airlines.
god, there could be brands on the uniform.
It'd be
Like, would that not be? Would that not be a thing or possible? I know it would totally take away from like the art and the pageantry, but just stick with me,
fuck
bro.
it.
Like, that could be.
Stick with me on this one, okay? We put a
Right?
giant ass sock logo on your back. Has nothing to do with the show design, but we really need to get paid for all this airtime. So-
But we will get paid every time you put it on.
Dude, and then that would be fucking awesome too, is if they started doing individual course. And like individual members could get sponsored like NCAA contracts.
Bro, James Myers put an incredible tweet the other day. He said, "For my DCI folks," and he put in his little parentheses, he said, "This is for a presentation for the Marine Corps. I ain't even kidding." Lamau. He says, if there was a professional drum corps, what would you want its starting salary to be? And he said 45K, 50K, 60K, 75K. And the majority selected 60K. Now, he said for a little bit more depth, it would be like your normal tour in the summer. Your core is part of an NFL team, and you play like college for the season. And spring is the off season / prep for tour. I just think that would be. I think that's kind of a
hyper
crazy
competitive. It's already competitive as it is, and now we're like talking hyper competition. We're trying to make that shit competitive.
What if we made this a league? What if we made it a
league.
league instead of an activity? What if, I'm just
It's a
saying,
league of our
spitballing
own.
here.
It's
I mean,
possible.
drum corps kids already gatekeep this shit anyway. What if we just made it a league? Like we just made it to where okay, hear me out.
That's the flaw in the logic. I'm hearing you out. The flaw in the logic is that we have so many damn gatekeepers in the community that don't want to talk about it. It's
Yeah.
like, okay. Well,
Like
but continue what but that aside, like say like that didn't exist.
Instead of like scholarships, like I remember a big thing now within like college sports is NIL deals. And we talked about that in the first buy stop video. At least I did, that there was a restaurant that gave just the mellow section. It was like 8 kids from the University of Iowa. This restaurant gave them an NIL deal. So they're going to school, and as long as they make little commercials or like little like videos about the restaurant, they can get paid to go to college. And I'm like, what if drum corps, as we keep expanding here, I've said it before, but if now, since we're talking about it with these partnerships that have happened, if it's possible, because NIL, I don't know if you know anything about it, but NIL is a complete wild west right now. There are no rules. So kids in college are making more than they are in the pros. This is a real deal. Like Arch Manning will be the starting quarterback for the University of Texas this year, and he will guaranteed make more money in this season as a college student than he will in his first year in the NFL. Guaranteed. And it's like there's no rules for it right now. It's all over the place. I know it extends for like college people, but imagine if you could have that shit in drum corps. I'm just saying, if a kid, I know people are like, well, that just gets rid of the integrity of the activity. Just check me out. What if your kid was like, what if like Bojangles was like, yo, your trumpet soloist for Beat Like Bluecoats is a stud, and we want to sign him to a deal. And every night, like, I don't know, like he just, like, you hear me out. I don't know if this is like, I don't know.
This
am
is
spitballing.
this
and
is
shit
totally
talking at the same
bleeding the
time.
whole time. So this is funny because it reminds me of when, and I'm so curious about this, but do you remember when they got those like 3 core members on the set of Jumanji in Hawaii with Dwayne the Rock Johnson? Do you not remember that?
What? Is this a thing?
Yeah, I'm gonna look this shit up here.
All right, yeah, pull that up, because I
Pull
have the
that
other
up.
2 things pulled up. You pull that up real quick.
I got you. Yeah,
We're pulling shit up this episode. If you guys are listening on audio, maybe switch over to YouTube. You know,
maybe just go to YouTube.
thanks for the download. Now go to YouTube.
My shit's going slow as fuck, but I can't believe you can't remember this. This is so
I don't
funny.
even know that. I didn't even know that was a thing.
It was Dwayne the Rock Johnson, and then that kid, what's his Brandon something from the Blue Devils. He was like the youngest member or whatever. And then they had a girl from like Boston Crusaders, or maybe it was all Blue Devils members. I'm not really sure, but they like flew him out, just like 3 of them, and they're like, "Hey, like play us a little something," like in front of Dwayne the Rock Johnson on camera in the middle of fucking Hawaii, and you're like, okay. I wonder if they got any like money, or if like Dwayne the Rock Johnson,
if they got paid.
If they paid him, like if they paid them, that would be pretty sick. Like, hey, we're gonna fly you out, we're gonna pay you a little bit of money, just mess around on some percussion instruments for us, make it sound like Jumanji, and and fucking we'll pay you 10 grand or something like that. It's like,
do you remember Monsters U when BD Snareline recorded the soundtrack for that?
Man, and I think that, you know, this is back to our branding thing, is like, does it fall on the core or does it fall on DCI to make, you know, the activity affordable? And when you get into Blue Devils, like in such a way, like they're such a long-standing brand. I mean, the Blue Devils is a brand, like, System Blue. You're wearing the fucking shirt, like it.
They got me.
They got you. Yep, they got us all.
Corporate
And
slave.
I'm a corporate slave. It's the best. Let's see this, Dwayne
Johnson.
Rock
if we didn't have Dwayne Johnson
Johnson.
producing the Clash of the Core series, I think that shit could be successful.
That
I
was
still
it.
think that's a good idea.
That was it. It was the Clash of the Cores, but it was like a promo video.
I still think if somebody else who is a part of the activity who is also involved in like entertainment and production and all that, if there was somebody who was knowledgeable in the activity, I think that series could be very successful. I think it had the right idea, but you have it.
Yeah, hold on.
Pull it up.
Hold on. Pull it up. Oh shit.
Oh. Whoa. What happened?
Here.
No. Oh, here we go.
It's gonna lag like fuck, but
oh no way. Is this Dwayne?
What they gotta say?
Wait, back it up.
Tell me a
Back it
little
up. Back it up.
like,
I want to
from
see
your
Dwayne talk about
experience,
this
like,
shit.
what was the
Back
best
it
part
up.
about the show.
I think the best.
For Hawaii, shooting Jumanji, took some time out of my production schedule to spend time with these incredibly masterful, talented kids from our show Clash of the
shit
Cores.
cracks me up
They
every
are
time.
Bad ass. Wait till you see them. Let's see what they gotta say.
Let's see what they got.
Tell me a little bit about the show, like from your experience. Like, what was the best part about the show?
I think the best part was probably getting to know the production team because this activity is so dear to my heart and so precious to me that I just wanted it portrayed in a beautiful manner.
Stock flow marching response. Anyway.
Respectfully.
Sure. And not looking
And
like
not
we
trying.
were.
No hate towards flow marching. Y'all do an awesome job, but Jesus Christ.
Wait, before you keep going,
Yeah.
can we just talk about how like the moment she answers that question about like, and he's like, so what'd you think of the show? Say something nice about it. And she's like, well, I just wanted it to be portrayed in a great way that's like, because it's very special. He's like, right. So like, let me explain. He's like already on the defense. He's like, I know it was bad. Let me explain. Keep going.
They
Hey,
were,
let's get some crazy reality show
Yeah,
happening.
like, and
Could
of
you
course-
pretend you're drunk?
yeah,
Yeah.
please.
You too, and fall over. Yeah.
Yeah, it's always been nice being in drum corps because it's kind of like a hidden community. You can talk and share stories like you've been friends
Damn,
for
the
years,
floss.
Yeah.
but you just met.
We just want people to know it's an art form, a way for us to express ourselves, but it's also such a huge life experience for us. What we learn from that is almost impossible to put into words.
There's
Okay,
values
let's skip
and
forward
there's
a little
things that
bit
you
here.
learn that you will then take with you for life. What are some of those
Whatever.
things?
Number one.
Dwayne.
Yeah. Organization.
Here we go. Okay, for some reason, every time I watch that, the shit kills me, dude. Like, I mean,
It's-
I cannot stop laughing when I watch it. And, but anyway, it just makes it's stuff like that though that just makes me wonder. I'm like, did these kids get paid, or did they just like literally like,
Yeah.
like, fucking like? Could you imagine just like you're like horn sergeant or whatever? It's like, hey, you need to go out of block. You need to hang back from block for this one. And they're like, what? Okay, fuck, sure, I guess. Am I in
Dwayne
trouble?
Johnson and the camera crew comes out and they're like,
No, it's
box
not,
drill.
it's like Dwayne Johnson's agent comes up to your high school that you're fucking rehearsing at and is like, those three, I want them. And then they're like, what do you mean you want them? And they're like, I want them for the Jumanji set.
I want him.
No Clash of the Cores? Yeah. You guys are going to be part of that.
You're gonna be on Jumanji.
I wonder if they just like randomly picked or if it was just like a cumulative like thing. Because like
I think those three, because like the guy on the right was Javier. He was the trumpet
Yeah.
soloist in 2017, and then
Awesome
there was
dude.
Brandon Olander. Shout out to
Brandon
both those
Olander.
guys. I got to meet. I didn't know if I got to meet Brandon, but I did get to meet Javier in 2017 when we shared the beach and all that. But I don't know the girl on the left. I have no clue. But I think they definitely were like, yeah, that's our guy right there. That's our other guy who's already been on CBS, and then like her too, right? So like all of
Sure.
them, just like
She's
you
the
know, whatever,
diversity
but-
hire for the thing, right?
Oh fuck!
Like shit, we need a diversity hire. Can that color guard girl? Can she play a drum?
Let's get that girl over there.
Like, well, yeah, they played tambourines one year. Does that count?
Yes, but a bunch of money.
That works great. Great. Perfect. Dwayne The Rock Johnson sitting there like he fucking knows everything too about it. It just kills me, bro. Like the whole like Clash of the Core
Dwayne
thing
get
was,
into that, by the way?
you know, I think that he was probably just like taking a shit, scrolling through Facebook on
He
his
saw
like
an ad.
private account and saw like the CBS thing with Brandon Olander, and then was just like, all right, yeah, that sounds cool.
What's
What the
this?
fuck's this?
How much money does it cost? Can I make money off of it? Give it to me.
I can make tequila and sponsor band kids.
I'm unstoppable.
Yeah,
It was wild, man. It was wild because like that show, I think the reason why people didn't like it as much is because I think
it was not
I don't know.
relatable. It wasn't relatable.
I think they took it too much from the sports perspective,
Yeah.
and that's really kind of what the deal was. And also, they got way too like, I don't know. That's why I'm like, I think they have the right idea, but it's all, especially in today's world, I don't think you could execute it the same because of reality. Like, if you want to do a reality show where you get kids like behind the scenes, like, I don't know how that would fare out today.
I'm not sure either, especially given like the
Someone should
state
do
of
it.
like state of society being like we have to very much protect the youth now, like that, like you have to be very careful with the youth right now because it's like
Yep.
you never know when you might say the wrong thing. And it's like I live in Lewiston, Idaho, man. I say whatever the fuck I want. Nobody gives a shit.
Yeah.
I have to be very conscious when I go to places that are not in Idaho and be like, oh yeah, like totally legit, like totally fair. Your emotions are valid. I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
There's comedy to that, of course, but it is serious too. You know, like you do have to be gentle with people nowadays, and it's that's.
I think it's the type of people too, because like the next generation that's coming up, and I think it really started with the group of people that we marched with.
Yeah.
I think we were just more like self-aware about what was happening, and when things were wrong, I think it started with us not being afraid to speak on that.
Yeah.
And really come forward, and like I think our generation of being online and not being afraid to tell our story, which those stories do absolutely need to be told. I know we just took a huge 180 with the mood there, but
it's all right.
No,
it's all right.
I love it because listen, we took a 180, a 360. Dude, we've done so much shit in this episode. We've talked about a million different things. This is kind of like a DCI life episode. Where is our baby at right now?
Yeah,
in its lifespan.
Exactly.
Doing,
and I think that's probably, I was just going to comment on this too. We sound like some fucking old heads right now. We sound like some old heads in the activity, and we're not even
old.
Close. We're not even
out of our fucking 20s.
Exactly. So it's like for everybody watching, take a lot of this with, a grain of salt. We're not masters, we're not pros, we don't know anything about, the intricacies of what goes on behind the scenes at all. And this is just straight up reaction content. This is just,
I think it's just
what
like for
we
me,
think
I wanted
about the current state of things.
I think for me, it was really just like, I want to like, I'm more proud of like how the activity has grown into where like there is a platform, and that's why I wanted to do this, because I feel like members are they're not afraid to speak out on stuff anymore, which is good because you need that in order for the activity to keep growing and stay alive. You need people who aren't afraid to tell their stories, and the same, like as we've been talking about the business side of it and all the accusations, however you say that fucking word, however you say that, all the partnerships that have been created, everything that's been able to make it grow. I think that's been the whole kind of point of this podcast too, is looking at our activity, the thing that we love, and watching how it grows, and knowing that that's okay. Because I think a lot of people in the community too don't like how these new partnerships are coming in. A lot of people have shown hate on the Sox and the Southwest, being like, it's not enough. It's not going to be enough. DCI isn't doing enough. But you got to understand, like, the moves that are happening, just these small like moves that are being plugged away, like these are huge.
Yeah, and the thing
I
is,
want to talk about a couple other things.
Yeah, before we get in too far into anything else, I do want to say too, if you do have a disagreeing viewpoint or you have a different viewpoint on any of this stuff, drop a comment. Tell Jeff exactly what you think.
Tell it how it is.
I'll look at it too. I won't troll you in the comments. I can't promise about anybody else on the internet, but I won't. Any feedback's well received about this stuff. We do not know a lot, so it'd be cool to see, what other people's viewpoints are on these kinds of things. So,
oh yeah, especially with this stuff too, because
one?
like a lot that we've talked about so far is like on this podcast, just in general, is like the member experience. And in this episode in particular, I think it would be cool to hear from you guys on what you think about all of these partnerships and what you think about, where the activity is going and how it is growing. And, for you guys at home, maybe comment down below what sponsorships would you like to see in the future? What partnerships would you like to see if you have already marched and you can't march anymore? What's something you would have loved to see back in your time? You know what I'm saying? So 100%. But
Yeah.
let me
Let's dive
pull this
into that
white
US
guy up
bands
here.
one.
This is really cool to me. I think this is super sick. This is something within the activity, but they are basically US bands is a heavy part of what I know as like the high school circuit,
Sure.
especially
Yeah.
in Texas. Like they are there. If you ever are in a big show at a high school event, it's probably sponsored by US bands. And I know there's like a couple other organizations that are also pretty heavy in the BOA scene for high school and all that, but this is one of them that DCI is partnered with. And they are creating a little series this summer where if you are somebody who is, a music educator, someone who's coming up trying to be a music educator one day, or someone who's just trying to learn more in the marching arts activity, US Bands is partnering with DCI to create a little, basically a series of events throughout the summer where people will get to go out, music educators and students, and they'll be able to come out for this little schedule right here that I'm kind of highlighting, and they'll be able to go see different groups and interact almost every day of the stretch from the 15th to the 23rd in Texas in all these different locations. And you'll be able to go and you'll be able to go learn from some of the best in the activity, and you'll be able to go see these live. I think a couple here that they're talking about, there's these things called DCI Day of Event Clinics, and a couple of the groups that are going to be there, one's the Cavaliers. They're going to be here for the 18th in Central Texas, and they're going to be in as well. So I remember that was something for us where it, like you were talking about earlier, those things, these clinics used to be on the cores. That was up to the cores to set that up and kind of get that going and for people to sign up so that the core can make that money. Now, with this partnership, you're allowing groups like the Cavaliers and the Mandarins to come out, and you're partnering with them and allowing these kids to come out to them. And it's like they don't have to set all this stuff up, and you have these groups coming out. And it's like, I think this is cool that there is like, I never really heard about clinics whenever we did it. It was always like a couple days before. It would be like, oh, hey, on this day, like kids are going to come and we're going to do a clinic today. It wasn't like a super advertised thing, I feel like. You know what I'm saying?
I think we did one in 2016 somewhere in Texas.
We did. Yeah.
And what did we teach them, like the opener or something?
Yeah, like the opener music, and then we did like a Viz block with the kids.
Yeah, I do remember that. Like that was honestly kind of cool. Like, that's very like like your fifth grade older buddy, right? It's like you're in third grade, you get your fifth grade buddy kind of thing.
Senior buddy.
Yeah, your senior buddy. Exactly. And that's,
Yeah.
it's very reminiscent of that. And I like that. It's cool. It's cool that it's going to be more of a focus. I'm glad to see more cores kind of picking up on that. I think it's cool. Like I love doing it. I talked about it a lot. 2016 was not a good year for me. It was just I was frustrated a lot. But that was one of those times during tour that I do remember. I don't remember who the kid is. If you remember me out there, don't hit me up.
Say hello.
No, don't hit me up. I don't want to know. But I hope you're doing
Say some in the
okay.
comments.
At least. Like at least okay. I don't know. I'm like, I got too many people to fucking remember in my life, man. Don't hit me up. Hit Jeff up if you want to fucking talk.
Yeah, just comment down below. I'll
comment
tell
down
Riley.
below. Jeff will share the good news with me. But yeah, it's stuff like that. Like, yeah, like getting the kids in it early, and I think that it may have just been before its time when we were doing it. But I think that Oregon Crusaders just kind of branded itself, especially over the years, as a kind of accessible core.
Yeah.
It was like I hate to say it, but it was pretty much everybody's last choice. I wouldn't say everybody, but like probably about 60% of the people.
100%. Definitely.
100% of the people didn't want to be there. No, I'm kidding. That was a comedic beat.
Man.
No,
Maybe.
60. I would say I would say probably no more than about 75% of the people. in that
Right.
corps, it was not their first choice. It's like they either want to go Pacific Crest or Scouts, or go do like they'll go big or
Phantom or
go
something
home, and they're
like
not
that.
going home
And they all
yet.
got cut and ended
Yeah.
up at OC,
Yeah, and then like, oh, OC still has 26 hornline spots. It's like, okay, it's April. But yeah,
Which, hey, I guess that's, keep going. I'll talk about that later.
Yeah, it's I don't even know what else to say about it, but I think that getting kids in on it early, and then also opening up the doors to these sponsorships, and opening up all of this like big open market that kind of DCI kind of covers. I think it's
Yeah.
going to be really cool to see. The one that I did want to kind of dive into next was the Walmart stuff, because
Oh, really?
yeah, I just wanted to go straight in because while it's on the brain, so we have a mega corporation helping out a corporation, and this is a very rare move. But that being said, for those who aren't up to date on the news, Jeff's going to pull it up really quick. But Walmart Health signed a deal with Drum Corps International, provide telehealth services, which is awesome. That's super, super, super cool to hear about. In contrast, 3 days ago, Walmart Health just announced that it is going to be discontinuing its services.
Yeah.
And it's
right after we had
stuff like
just signed
this.
a
It's like,
contract.
okay, they just signed a contract for it. They said any existing patients are still fine and all this other stuff. They're still going to get their care until the day they close, but
Right.
they're shutting down all of their like in-person clinics, and they're shutting down their telehealth services. So I'm like, it seems like maybe that one was like a jump in the gun kind of thing, but like getting a name
This
like
this seemed like
Walmart
a
or
big one.
Target here.
This seemed like a big one.
Yeah. This would have been huge for the drum corps community, because everybody knows Walmart. Getting a big brand like a mega corporation on board was a really good strategic move, just because
It was.
it's about getting the name out there. And think every time now, like you would go into Walmart, because they always put their like sponsors up somewhere in the store, whoever they're sponsoring. They'll have like a sticker that says proud sponsor of Drum Corps International somewhere. I mean, not anymore, but if they would have left Walmart Health continuing and going, and they didn't decide to pivot into third party sales, which is total shit, by the way. It's total shit. I don't want to elaborate. I refuse to elaborate. Source, I made it up.
This is crazy.
Yeah, it's cool though, because Walmart it would be one of those, and Walmart's such a huge part of the DCI community too. Like you don't go to Target stops, you don't go to your buy stops, and you just don't go to Walmart. You fucking kidding me?
Yeah, you go to.
It's the only place where you can get a 1 gallon black Coleman jug, some Vaseline, and new socks, and Gatorade. You can get all the same shit just right
You
there.
can get so much there.
You can get the aspirin
The
powder.
decision to close.
What was his fucking name? He looked like he literally was like born in the 50s and didn't age after he turned like 35. Bill something.
Whoever put us on to like green Gold Bond, that green bottle of Gold Bond.
Dude,
Is that
I
what you're
remember.
talking about?
No, I'm talking about the aspirin powder mixed with the fucking.
Oh, jeez, I do remember what you're talking
that
about.
was the
I
most
just forgot,
random
like-
one-off shit, because we were just having like a
Yeah.
day in like trumpet rehearsal in 2018. It's like Bill something. I forget his last name. Shout out Bill. Just
Shout
Jet
out Bill.
Bill.
Oh, I know
Bill
exactly what you're
yeah.
talking about. Bill McClendon?
Yeah, that's him.
I
Bill
don't
Mc-
remember
I
his
think
last
Bill
name,
McClendon is.
But I
his
remember
last
what you're talking
name.
about.
But I
He
remember
had us
he
do
put
this,
us on
like,
that. He's like, just go
exercise.
to Walmart, get some aspirin powder, mix it into the medicated lip balm, put it on your lips. Don't put it on before you go to bed. Take it off when you get in the morning. Otherwise, you're gonna have fucking sore ass lips. And then like it just removes any chappedness you have, and it's shit like that. That's like he wouldn't have been able to tell us to do that if we weren't stopping at Walmart, right? Like he
Shout
said,
out
you can get the
Walmart.
shit at the gas station. Shout out Walmart, not a sponsored ad.
Shout
Uh,
out Walmart.
Shout out Walmart. But that's what I'm saying though, is getting a name like that is so like, I mean, could you imagine if like Quick Trip sponsored fucking DCI?
Yeah, I
Given
think
how
we
many
wanna,
bathroom
like,
stops
the last little part here.
have
We had
have
another little
There you go.
little sponsorship kind of come up. like lately. It was called like Jazz Wealth, and I won't bring that up because
I don't know enough
we're
about
gonna
it.
wrap up here in a little bit. Like it's nothing too crazy. They're just gonna be the official like food sponsor or just a sponsor for the final event in Indianapolis. I think I still have it, so I can bring it up on the screen.
Yeah,
But,
they're a
the last little thing.
the only thing I know about Jazz Wealth is they're a financial services provider.
Yep, and that's kind of their whole shtick here, and kind of what they're coming in to do. They're the official financial services partner
There you go.
for all the events that are going to happen this summer. They're going to become a new advertising presence on the DCI.org, which is what I'm on right now. But yeah, that's kind of just a little small thing here. I don't know enough to talk on that.
Yeah,
But
I
do know
really
that
don't
this
either.
is a thing, and this is gonna really help out what's happening here with the Sound Sport International Festival. This is always a really fun thing that happens during finals week. So definitely, if you're in the Indianapolis area, which I probably will be, but definitely go check this thing out because Jazz Wealth we have a sponsor for it. So I think that's gonna be even cooler to kind of see what they do with that this year.
Yeah. So Jeff, what's a sponsor you
Yeah.
would like to see?
A sponsor I would like to see in the future. Man, we were talking about this earlier. Did we have this on camera, or were we talking about this when I was like the uniforms? Like, I'm so serious.
I think
If
we have
could
a little bit
just
of footage of that, yeah.
I think we have that already on there. So that's one thing. If we in the future uniforms, get a little sponsorship on there or something. Get a little logo, put the Cheetos man in the corner of your uniform. Like that would have been so perfect for Downside Up. That white uniform, that white base,
Then just
little
Chester
Cheetah
man,
super
just-
small. Chester at the top with the sunglasses on, bro. The kids would have went crazy for that. You know what I'm
That'd
saying?
been nuts.
But I think some sponsorships I would like to see in the future. The dream, the absolute dream. Get these kids some Adidas pants with the core logo on the pants, and that's it. Because the thing is Blue Knights had a pants, whatever. They had pants that were very similar in style to Adidas pants, and it was perfect. They literally just had like at the top of your thigh, they had the little like Blue Knights logo, and it said Blue Knights on there. If we could get the Adidas striped pants with like Cavaliers, and it says underneath, they're all kind of the same, like the logo's in the same spot, same name, but the cores get them. Very simple, so that it's the same price to make.
I want Oregon
but
Crusaders across the ass of my Adidas pants.
Correct. I want
Only
on
correct
one cheek
answer.
and C on the other.
And then for every year you march, you get a new like gold stitch line by your gooch.
Oh man,
Jokes.
but yeah,
That'd be lit.
That's the
Adidas
absolute
would be
dream.
fucking awesome. Yeah, that would.
Adidas is the dream.
That would be the dream. Yeah,
I think Adidas is the dream for me. I think another one is Nike for shoes eventually. I would love to have in my mind, what I would love to see is Adidas pants for the winter. So when you come and let's say you have a full ensemble block, everyone's got to put their Adidas pants on. And that makes it even better for all the social teams. Everything's continuity. You'll all have the same shirts. We could even get Adidas shirts, just simple black shirt or a simple whatever base that you want with your core logo in the middle. Now we have uniforms for camp. So everything's cool. You'll get them at the camp after you become a member. Another thing would be like, I guess if we stick with Adidas, let's get some shoes for the kids. You know what I'm saying? Let's get a simple athletic shoe. Or if we're really going to do shoes, let's get a good like running shoe company that knows what they're doing, and that really good support. I forgot the name of the ones I wore in 19, but they literally lasted me all summer, and I'll probably remember them after I'm done recording. But another thing that I think I would love, the last thing, that Gatorade sponsorship, dude. Gatorade would go crazy.
Alternatively, we talked about this over text. Squincher.
That was my alley-oop to you. I was like,
that was what I was
'Cause
going for the whole
fellas-
time. I'm like, what happened to Squincher? I don't want to
What
talk more about it, but Jesus Christ, Squincher was gas. I don't care what anybody said. I think that
Squincher was better than Gatorade.
like Gatorade, like I think like it is so widely known, so it would be a fantastic sponsor. That would totally be awesome. I think
Yeah.
just having like it's kind of like the Prime would kind of be a crazy sponsorship too.
Prime would go crazy.
Prime would go nuts, especially with the kids too. Doing Fortnite dances in my Adidas pants and my Nike kicks, fucking drinking
With my Prime drink. Tell me the kids wouldn't love that shit.
You know,
they would love it.
Get 90 fucking kids on a field and fucking more in the fucking pit, and everybody else just fucking everywhere, just doing fucking the floss on them,
Just flossing.
just flossing. 5-second clip.
Everyone's hitting TikTok.
Social
dances.
media, dude. Like, that's viral tonight. That's so fucking funny. But
That
it's
would
shit
be
like that, or
incredible.
getting like a name like Squincher, where like it was. I think it still is. I don't hear much from Squincher anymore. They've kind of
I don't
been
either.
consumed by the giants of Gatorade and Prime and all these other ones now. But
Yeah.
that would be awesome. Squincher would be sick. Also, what was I thinking about? There's a fucking hat company.
Hats too. There's so
Like,
many things that could be sponsored.
like you got to think about like utility for these kids, because like hats save
Yeah.
your life. Sunglasses, there's one brand that I know that's really awesome. It's called Knockaround. That'd be pretty sick. Like they sell
Mhm.
like super high quality shades, $24 a pair.
Shout out, no free shout out.
Yeah, that's the fucking pay me. No. I paid you, now you pay me. But yeah, it's I think that getting like things that are very like utility heavy for these kids doing the activity. Coleman would be a crazy sponsor. Like,
For the jugs.
yeah, just like have like water jugs. Like Coleman's like, hey, like they pick a core, they'll spin a wheel once a year with all the cores' names on it and be like, hey, they got their water jugs on us this year.
Yes. Or like that company, like they could still like they could sponsor and give jugs out, but the core maybe they like pick for the year, get specialized custom jugs for themselves. So with the
Yeah.
logo and the full thing out, like imagine Cavaliers with a green jug.
Yeah,
And
green
it's got
jug.
like, and it's got the dude with the little hat and everything
got the
just smack
rapier.
dab in the middle of the
That'd be
jug.
fucking lit.
Everyone's got that. Imagine that on a flow marching video. All the kids with a special Coleman custom jug.
Yeah.
Coleman. That is what it's on our packing list every year. We need a Coleman jug. Coleman.
Yep. That would be awesome.
would go
And they're
nuts.
they're like a camping brand. So like the thing
Yeah.
is, you get that sponsorship. Now you're opening an entirely different door to an entirely different market of people who probably don't even know shit about an instrument, let alone Drum Corps International.
Right.
Which is sick, because then they
Right.
can be like, or Coleman could put up on their site or whatever, be like, buy one jug, we'll send a jug off to a drum corps kid in need.
True.
It's
Oh my
facts.
God. That's that would be like, that's incredible. Stuff like that. Like that would be insane. What are some other things outside of like
Little Danny forgot his water jug. Send him one. Like,
send him
before he has to run 6 miles.
before Brad Green makes him run 6 miles. Shout out Brad, dude.
Shout out Brad.
We love Brad on this channel. We've
Yep.
talked about him a million times. We
One of
love
these
that man.
days, he
But,
will be here, and that'll be the most terrified you've ever been. You'll be shitting your pants in that interview, and it'll be hilarious.
like Dan Hoffman, the beginning of Dan's episode, I was like, you could see it. I was glowing with sweat. It was just sweat everywhere because I was like, bro, this is Dan. We got to do this. This is gonna be a good one. I'm nervous because I want it to go well, bro. Brad, I don't even think I could get the intro off without just being like, he's
gonna take your intro. He'd be like, "All right, welcome back to Meet the Bus podcast."
no, this is yours.
Be like,
Yours podcast.
go
No, I
ahead,
don't
bud.
even-
It's yours. It's not me.
This is all you, brother.
I'm your host, Brad Kurt Green, and
I'm just a guest.
I'm here with my guest today, Jeffrey Reckes.
Oh man, are there any other sponsorships before we get out of here today? This is gonna be a very short episode. Like I said, this was a lot of off the cuff stuff today.
Yeah.
But
New
yeah, are there
format.
any other sponsorships? Any other ones that we could think of that would be super dope?
I mean, shit, like Sony would kind of be a sick one. They do some pretty good, like, because Yamaha's one. Nah, it'd have to be like exclusive, right? Because like Sony and Yamaha are direct competitors, but
Mhm.
so that's probably not one that's ever gonna fly. But Sony would be sick if they did like all of like the entertainment screens and stuff like that. They did
Right.
HD audio for them, because Sony, or Dolby Audio, I think, is the one that does the HD
Yeah.
audio for Apple now. That'd be
Yeah,
pretty
Dolby
sick.
Atmos.
Yeah, Dolby Atmos. If they did set that up, that'd be a really sick sponsor. Like
Yes.
basically anything that's bigger than DCI right now that they can get. And this is how you get a sponsor. Like you find a company bigger than you, and then you ask them
and
to
you
give
ask
you
them for money.
and they
And they
tell you
just do
yes
it.
or no. And if they say yes, you have to plug them in everything that you do. But it's like, I don't know, like I think that strategically moving forward, everything so far that we talked about, it's just such a wise decision. I think that this is something that the activity really needed to get it back in the hands of the public rather than just make it this like gate kept, like this is the elite marching group. It's like, no, it's like not. Like I was part of an elite marching group that placed fucking 32nd. Like,
Yeah.
like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
so
We need to get this back on a national platform.
yeah, it needs to be more accessible, and I think that Nate Boudreau's ideas of getting like all of this different revenue streams is just super smart. I think that it's going to make the activity a better place. It's going to make it easier for the members, but it will take time. It's going to take 5, 10, maybe 20 years before DCI really hits its stride again and becomes a big thing. Because, and this gives me hope. In my episode, I think we talked about the activity dying. In our group chats on Snapchat and stuff, we talk about often is like, oh shit, is this the nail in the coffin? Damn, they're gonna add another one. Damn, they're going they're gonna break this fucking coffin open with how many nails you got going in. And it's like
all we've seen is like cores just folding. That's all we've seen is negative news.
Organizations folding, like everything. It was going out the window so quick, prior to COVID even. Like, I mean, we saw it happen in 2016, 17 onward. Like a lot of these cores, they were made with the best intentions, but they just couldn't do the thing. And I think that most of it was just lack of funding. And if more cores were out there, kind of like how it was when you literally just go, like we talked about, it's like dodgeball lineup. It's like, I pick you go start your own class. And he's like, go fuck yourself. I'm going to go start my own class. And then then we have like all of these weird little pocket groups everywhere, but it'd be awesome just to like unify that. And that's kind of where it is now. And we this is just like very late touch on it. I don't want to talk about it too much more. There is all of those new groups going for all age. I didn't know all age was a thing. So all age and open class.
They just brought that back.
Okay, cool. Yeah. I thought that open class was just always like the all age, but maybe not the case anymore. So
like DCA was a thing. And then I think that folded in,
kind of did like one of the super fusion fucking with
they
open
were like
class.
The groups, maybe we can do something here, but like I think that now they've just made it an all age division, so now it's a separate thing where it's a part of DCI now. It like DCA always felt separate, but now it's like, no, it's the all age division of DCI,
which is sick. And like there's new cores coming in that, like, and that's super cool. And it's cool to see these like little tiny groups. I just learned about a brand new core from Idaho. The Gems.
The Gems, dude, they're on the rise. We had a staff member on from the Gems actually on this podcast. We did. Nick Martinez, definitely go check that out. I think that was episode 14, but go check them out. We actually do talk a little bit about the Boise Gems in there. And if you don't know already about them, go follow them on Instagram I'm pretty sure at the Boise Gems. Michael, if you want to put that at the top or something like that, at the Boise Gems. They're on the rise right now, and they just had their last 2 like mini tours the past 2 seasons, and they've been doing great, kicking ass.
Very battalion-esque, and I love that.
Very much so.
Right on.
Very much so. But
that's about all I got. So
I think that's all I got too. That's literally all I got. I guess my last thing here for something that, where the hell did this thing go? And can this thing please come back? Maybe, I don't know about Squincher, but if this thing could come back, this is where I'm going to be this summer.
You just signed.
I've just signed a lifetime deal.
Show him the back. It's got the Cheeto guy on it. No,
but for real, man, whoever invented this, y'all need to bring this back, because now I'm actually a part of this drum corps and I want more merch. So bring that back. Let's get that sponsorship cooking again, because that was great. But with that, everyone at home, if there was something that if you have an idea, if there was something that you're kind of thinking about at home, you're like, oh, this is a sick idea. Like, you guys were kind of talking about this, put that in the comments. If someone's got this like cool idea about DCI, something that you want to see in the future, something, or maybe you just want to have some thoughts on what we talked about today. Like I said, we're not the smartest people in the world. We just wanted to talk about it, kind of react and reflect on where we were in our time during the activity and kind of how the activity's grown now and how in these, last couple months, we've seen a lot of, we've seen groups fold up. We've seen cadets fold up permanently. We've seen a lot of negative the last couple of years even. It's taken a lot to get back to this point. So I really want to have this episode be more of a celebration and, just appreciating where we are now and the fact that, these are all good signs. These are good. These aren't bad. We're not selling out. The activity's in good hands and we're doing the right things and we're making the right steps. So if you at home have any thoughts on this or you have any new ideas, drop those in the comments below. This is probably going to be the last episode of the podcast for not ever, but
reaction content.
That's I'm turning into. No, I'm not going to say it. You know who I'm talking about. But regardless, this will probably be it for a while because I have a vacation. I'm moving. I got a lot going on this month. New job I'm starting up. So a lot of big things for me. So I got to kind of take May off. But I'll be back in June. Next time you'll see me, we'll either be back with one or two things. We'll be back with a preview show. If you guys want to see that, also comment down below. If you want to see a preview show where we can just do a separate show, just talking about the show reveals. A lot of cores revealed their shows this past week as we're recording. This is May 3rd. A lot of cores revealed their shows this past weekend, last weekend of April. So we can do, if you want to see that, if you want to see a preview show, just get my thoughts on what I think these are, that we can talk about piece selections, all of that. If you want to see that, comment down below. We can absolutely do that. But if not, the other thing you will see me in is the summer series. That will be starting in June. We'll be following every other week. The members who have been on this podcast already, we'll be following them throughout the summer, throughout spring training, kind of getting a little like 10 to 15 minute segment with everybody, checking in with them. If there's something you want to see from that series, drop that down below as well. If you want to see something specific, I will absolutely put that in. But other than that, this has been it for episode 25. This has been a really off the cuff episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this one today. Very much so. We were just looking at everything, reacting, talking some shit, and just being some old guys who are done with drum corps now. So Riley, thank you for coming on. Thank you for doing this. I know this was kind of like late, quick notice, but thank you for always coming back. This is always a fun time for me.
Yep. I'm going to plug myself a little bit. I am going to start. Yes. I'm actually in the middle of making a business plan for opening my own lounge bar in about the next 5-10 years. If you want to just follow me on Instagram, follow me wherever you can look me up. I'm doing a lot of fun stuff with cocktails now. Yeah, if you're into cocktails, if you're an alcoholic and an ex-DCI member, man, do I have a guy for you?
Hit Riley up because he has a menu. He has a menu he just created, and he sent me the menu, dude. And it's good stuff. Phenomenal.
That's all I got. So thanks for having me on, Jeff. Appreciate it.
Go check out his cocktails. Hit him up or hit me up. I'll give you the menu. It's so solid. But with that, comment down below. Like the video. Share with your friends. Subscribe. All the good things. Thank you guys for watching. This has been episode 25 of the Meet the Bus podcast. And we will see you guys next week.